Welcome to Small Business Big Visibility. Today we've got Aly Porter, and she is a mom, an entrepreneur. She's been in business for over 20 years. She's been featured on Fox, NBC, CBS. She's kind of a big deal, if you know what I'm saying. Her company is the Millionaire Momentum. She is helping people get seen, get paid, and get freedom. She calls herself, and people call her, even more importantly, the Freedom Connector, because that's what she does for people. She's also had a history in e-commerce. She's been a consultant. She's done also a VA business. So she's got a ton of experiences that she pulls from in life. And today we get to pick her brain. Aly, tell us some more about yourself.
Oh, thank you so much, Jason. I'm so excited to be on the podcast today. And I will tell you also, like, I have four kids and a husky and a husband. So, I stay pretty busy. But at the same time, my whole mission in life is I don't want people to feel stuck anymore. I don't want them to feel like, they're invisible. I don't
Mm.
want them to feel like they're broke. And I don't want them to feel like they're trapped. I want them to get seen, get paid, and live free. And I feel like my entire business career has led me to this point. Even though I've done so many different things, it's allowed me to see how the things that people really need in their life and what brings them true peace, because really at the end of the day we all just want peace and we want harmony and we want joy in life. And
Yeah.
so helping people and connecting them with things that can bring that freedom to them is my number one goal.
So I'm going to go completely different for just a second. And you've got some things behind and around you. What do some of those mean? You've got inspire, you've got faith, you've got some other messages.
Mhm.
How does
Yeah.
that help you? And what do you have there and why?
Oh, thank you. Thank you for asking that. Actually, no one's asked that before. I love it. Okay. So, yes, and I have a couple more I'm going to show you too. So, the inspire, whoops, over here. The inspire is for me means in spirit. So, it means, when you're taking inspired action, it's not a hustle, it's not a grind, it's still movement, but it's coming from source, right? Whatever your belief system is. For me, it's God. So it comes from God, which means that now things are going to be in alignment versus trying to push and pull and make things harder. So, and also when you're inspired, uh, things just seem to flow better and it's more enjoyable, So I love that. Also, my faith, I'm a huge believer. And so faith is a huge thing for me. I have back here choose joy,
Mhm.
and lead me, guide me, walk beside me again, allowing God to be part of my life. And then right here, I have I'm a mom. What's your superpower? Right. So, like, being a mom is a superpower, of course. And then I have these two that are sitting in front of me that I see every single day. And one is Miracle Believer.
Mm.
And then the other one is Creator.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. And so all of these things help me to remind myself of who I am and whose I am. And the fact that, yes, I've been put on this earth to do amazing things. But also, it's okay to march to the beat of my own drum. A lot of people would say, oh, you have to do one thing, or you have to, like, just niche down and just be that one thing. I am not built that way. I am multi passionate. I am multi creative. I am, like, which is why I have multiple words everywhere, and stuff. And that's who God is. He's infinite. And so for me, because I am his child, I am infinite, which means that as long as, there's a cohesive message or mission, there can be multiple things within that and it can all kind of work together. And that's kind of how I've created my business. So, yeah.
I love it. I think that and I had this conversation with someone just the other day where we were talking about the Find Your Why movement. And I say,
Mm,
that's garbage. It's
yeah.
pure garbage because there's not one why.
Yeah.
Nobody's built with just one thing. Like
Yeah.
there's so many, and you just identified multiple. You're like, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I
Mhm.
have a passion to help people in a business sense. That's three different purposes. That doesn't boil into one why. And I think
Mhm.
that people need to accept that there is more than nothing and more than one, and that there can be many, and they'll take bigger precedents and smaller precedents at
Mhm.
different stages of our life, right?
Yes, and it's ever evolving. Like, and some things will, like you said, some things will be more prevalent at some times, and then they'll go in the background, and then they'll come back, and some things will always stay small, and some things will always be bigger. Like my family, for example, that's always like number one, you know. But by the same token, like it's okay for there to be evolution, and it doesn't have to be set in stone, you know.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
what does the word creator mean for you?
Mm. Creator means to me choice.
Mhm.
I believe that as creators, you get to choose what you want your life to be. You get to choose what you want your business to be. You get to choose how you want to do your business and your life. You get to choose how you want to be a mom or a dad. You get to choose just being able to choose and be the author of your own creation, you know?
Yeah, I love that because in today's world, there's this buzz phrase of the creator economy.
Mm.
And that means a very specific thing. And I've had people that have asked me, "Oh, are you a creator? Oh, you're a creator? What do you create?" And it means such a narrow, but I don't think that's really the same sense that when you have that creator word on your desk, I don't think it means the same thing as it does the creator economy, right?
Yeah, agreed. I do. I mean, I like that idea of like, oh, what are you creating? You know, and that's fine, but it's so much bigger than that. It's so much more expansive than that. And again, coming down to choice, it's whatever you want it to be. And that's the beauty of creation. When we access that part of ourselves that go into creation mode. I mean, even before we hit record on this podcast, we were both talking about all the things that we're creating and what we're doing, you know, and but again, it's what we have decided to create and put value in the world, you know, and everybody gets to choose what they want to create and what they want to do. So there's no like narrowness to it. It's extremely expansive and it's exciting.
Yeah, when I look at little kids, they're so enthralled when they're creating something. It could be a piece of artwork with a pencil,
Mm.
it can be crayons on the wall.
Mhm.
Whatever it is in that moment that they're creating something, they're completely in that zone. And it could be they're creating their fantasy world that they're playing with their friends and they're telling each other what they're doing in the moment and what this really,
Mhm.
but it means so much. And then as adults, I think we just get it beat out of us and we're
Yeah.
taught you've got to go and you've got to turn and look at that one person that's the expert and the authority, and they'll tell you what you can create, what you can say, and when you can say, and what's right and wrong. But I don't think that's the way the world's really made. What do you think?
Oh, I completely agree. Completely agree. In fact, it was so funny when you were talking about that because in my mind, I was thinking of my son. So my son is very creative, and he has ADHD like I do, and he also has dyslexia and some other things. But he is so creative, and that's what I love about him is
Mm.
his creativity. So our dog ended up eating off some legs and a tail of his favorite dinosaur, and so
Oh,
he goes into creation mode. What am I going to do to fix this? Like, this is not what I wanted it to be. And I'm super sad, but I'm going to, create something. And so he's like, okay. And so then he grabbed like push pins and paper clips and like a pipe cleaner and like all this stuff. And he created legs and a pipe cleaner tail and like all this stuff. And it was so creative. And I was just like, wow, that's just awesome, you know? And I think that if we can bring that back into our lives as a child does, then that opens up so much more for us, not just in business, but also in your like hobbies and what you like to do when you're not working, when you're not, engaged in your career and stuff like that. Like when you're with your family or when you're just doing hobbies or whatever. Like it's just so cool.
absolutely. So in the world today, we have a lot of people who maybe have been beaten down and don't feel like they can do that. How
Mm,
does that fit in with the message of what you're doing in the world?
yeah. So, what I would say to that person that just feels beat down is I would say surround yourself with people that inspire you. Surround yourself with people that believe that there is infinite possibility And as you continue to listen to those people, it kind of rubs off on you, So that's number one. Number two, choose to be different.
Mm.
Choose to believe, even if you can't see. I mean, that's the very definition of faith, right? And that's why I love faith, because faith is believing in something that you can't see yet, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. And so the people that have realized the dream life that you want, or the whatever it is that you desire, or wherever whatever it is that you want, they have just had the faith and the belief, and they've held on to it even when the reality was showing them something totally different. And so if your reality is you've been beaten down and you're just like, that's it, then just say, you know what? I'm going to believe something different. I'm going to believe that, maybe my reality, what is that even? It's perception, right? So, but whatever your reality is that you're living in, believe that you deserve better and that you are going to change it, not by hustle and grinding, but by alignment, and by deciding I'm going to surround myself with the people who, um, who inspire me and who I want more of. I'm going to believe in myself, and I'm going to believe that God has a bigger plan for me, or the universe has a bigger plan for me, or whatever that is. And then from there, take action, even if it's super small. Take that very small step forward. And it's not, again, hustle and grind, it's alignment. It's okay, where do I want to go and how do I want to get there? Like, what does that look like for me? For example, for me, I used to take a ton of sales calls. I was on meetings all the time.
Mm.
And I decided in November, when things shifted in my life and my business, I was like, I'm not doing that anymore. I don't want to have a gajillion sales calls. I don't want to, you know, be strapped to my computer all the time. Like I want to have freedom. I want to have white space. I want to be able to decide what that's going to look like. I want to get dings while I'm doing the dishes, dings like, money just flowing into my account while I'm doing dishes, while I'm out playing with my kids, well, all the things, traveling, whatever it is. And so then that helped me to see what different actions I needed to take in order to realize that dream.
I love it.
So
You know,
that's
I,
just an example.
I would love for you to give feedback on a concept, and maybe you've heard it before, and maybe this is the first time. But there's a guy that his name's Joe Vitale, and lived a
Mm-hmm.
very amazing life. Are you familiar with Joe Vitale?
Yeah.
Great. Maybe you've heard what he puts out. He says there's three levels. There's the victim, there's the architect of your life, and then there's the servant of the divine.
Mm.
And he says when you're the servant of the divine, you recognize that you have a higher purpose, but you don't always know what it is. And so you may try and manifest that these things are just going to happen, and but they don't always happen. And
Mm-hmm.
the thing that you're like, I'm going to do this, and it doesn't happen. And it's
Mm-hmm.
because you're trying to push yourself into a place that isn't in alignment with what divinity has for you, right? What do you
Yes.
think?
Oh, so good. Oh, so good. And here's the crazy part is, even if you have like that vision of what you're wanting and you take the steps towards it, you can always say, I want this or something better. I want this or something better, meaning whatever you want for me, divine, what is it that you want me to do, or be, or contribute to the world? And so it can be fluid, and it can show up in an even better way than you even have envisioned. And so that's part of the letting go. So, like, yes, you can have all your plans and everything, but we were just joking about that actually before we hit record too, that life is what happens when you have other plans. God will kind of laugh when you tell him your plans. But by the same token, it's still good to have them. It's still good to have that structure, but realizing that there's going to be, the goal will never change. The vision of what you're wanting to do will never change, but maybe the way in which you get there will change. And as you're getting there to that place, you will change, which means then the goal may evolve and shift, but in the end, it will be the feeling, it will be the realization of your highest potential, of your highest good, of what were meant to do in this world.
Yeah, and I think that each person, like we've all got our own path, right? It's not
Mm-hmm.
going to be the same for two people. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe one person they need to be a steward of a bunch of money, and maybe someone else doesn't. But who knows what impact each of those people actually are having on the world? I hear a
Yeah.
lot of people say that you can measure your worth by the size of your bank account because that's how much you've contributed to the world. But
Mm,
I would say the exact opposite is actually true, that what we contribute to the world may never be seen monetarily
agreed.
because the
Agreed.
biggest thing that we contribute is becoming our best self.
Mm-hmm. Amen. Amen. And I love that you say that because I mean my brand is called Millionaire Momentum, right? And so people are like, "Oh, that means, be a millionaire, have millions of dollars in the bank account." And it does. Like I still believe like it is good to have $1 million or more so that you can, bless people, but there's another flip side to it too. The millionaire isn't necessarily dollars, it's the impact that you're making. And so it can go either direction. You can have millions of dollars in the bank account and not have contributed anything to the world, right? And not had any value that you've given, and that's not good either. Right?
Right.
There's so many people that are stingy and rude and don't care and all the things, and we don't want to be that, right? But then there's other people who have $0 in their bank account and they've blessed millions and millions of lives. And so like you said, it really is who you're becoming that is the most important. And as you're on this journey and being in alignment, that's when you become your best version of yourself.
Yeah, I think that if we all looked at Abraham Lincoln, I don't think that guy was ever uber rich, but the impact he's had on the globe is unmeasurable, right?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So how does all that fit into what you're doing? Sorry, we got
No,
and the reads on that one.
I love that. I love that question. It's so, so good. It's so good. So I think maybe how it kind of ties into what I'm doing. I kind of mentioned it already, but basically I have three buckets that I work within. So the first one is get seen, the next one is get paid, and then the last one is live free. And they're kind of catchy phrases, and easy to remember, which is why I kind of did it that way. But again, my whole goal is to help people in whatever way it means for them to feel freedom, to feel freedom. That's why I call myself the freedom connector. I want to connect you with things that help you to feel free,
Mm,
because ultimately freedom brings peace, it brings alignment, it brings joy when you feel free, right?
yeah.
And that could be um that could mean a lot of things for a lot of people, right? But how I've kind of decided to make it work for me is kind of more in a business sense. And so for me, I want people to get seen through PR, through we have our M2 Influencer Hub that's coming out as well, and so I want people to not be invisible anymore. I want them to be seen in all over the place and in different news channels and all the things. And I want their mission and their message to be seen by the masses. And so that's why I got into PR. But the other thing is I felt like it was kind of um I don't know what word to use, but it just very overpriced and very like I wanted it to be affordable for people. I don't want people to feel like they have to pay an arm and a leg for something. I want it to be affordable for them. So we have different packages and for anyone, and that was really important to me because when I got my PR, it was not cheap. So and not to say that but I was just like I really feel like I can help people in that way. And then getting paid, I really want to give people options. I want them to have multiple income streams. Yes, you have your business that you love, that's your baby, that's your thing, but it's also good to have additional income streams that are either feeding into your business or just are supplements, because maybe you have a slow month, or maybe things are a little crazy, or maybe something crazy happens with the economy and then you're out your income. I don't know, who knows, but just having multiple income streams is so important. And then lastly, living free. I don't want people to feel trapped, like they can't go anywhere or do anything. And for me, when I think of freedom, I think of flying, and I think of like traveling and stuff like that. And so so we have a little travel club that I love to promote that gives you, you know, that freedom. And again, it's very inexpensive, which I love too, because I feel like so many travel clubs are super expensive. And I was like, I don't want that. I want something that's affordable, that's fun, that's easy for people, you know? And so, and the cool thing about this travel club too is that it's residual income. So you can
Mm.
earn residual income over and over and over again every month. And again, another income stream for people to be able to help. So anyways, so it's really, really cool. But here's the fun part too, is what Jason is doing. Oh my gosh, we're not, I mean, I don't know how much he wants to get into anything, but I will also have a lot of Jason's stuff in there as well, because what his mission is very similar in that way, where he wants people to feel free. And his whole brand is helping you to do that in so many different ways. So his stuff will also be in that bucket as well of living free. So I'm really excited about that.
And I don't know if you mind, but can we go back to actually how we met and how
Oh,
crazy
yeah.
one in a like 7 billion possibilities that would ever happen?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I live here in Texas in Fort Worth, and we had this uh VidSummit, a YouTube conference, right? Because we're both, you know, working on our YouTube channels and stuff like that. And, but I was like, okay, I don't necessarily want to pay for a ticket. I want to see if maybe, you know, I can like help or something, you know? So I randomly emailed them and was like, hey, do you need help? Like, can I help in some way, you know? And can I be a volunteer or something, and be able to come and all the things. And they were like, yes, we'd love to have you. And this was like 2 weeks before the event. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that that was a thing. I didn't even know you could do that, because it's not really advertised anywhere. You know, it's just kind of, it was very random. And I was like, all right, God, I know I'm supposed to be there. And so I showed up and
and yeah, my side of the story,
yeah.
I had heard about VidSummit. I think it was in like March or February. It was at some point in that year, and as soon as I heard about it, I was like, I'm supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, I should go buy the tickets right now. And then I was like, no, I'm not going to do it yet. Not going to do it yet. And I told my wife, I'm not going unless you go. And I don't know why. I was like, you have to come or I won't go. And I know I'm supposed to be there, so that means you have to go. I'm sorry. And she's like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And I was like, and we're getting close to the deadline. And I was like, honey, will you please buy the plane tickets and will you please buy the tickets? We have to do that. I have to go. It doesn't matter. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And she tells me, she says, I get home from a meeting. She says, please don't be mad. I reached out to them because I didn't really want to go and I didn't want a ticket. And so I just said, can I do something else? And they're like, oh, yeah, you can be a volunteer. She's like, so I'm going to be a volunteer. I'll buy your ticket this afternoon. As soon as she said, I'm going to be a volunteer, I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that's where I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, that's really weird, but okay, that's cool. And so I became a volunteer. And then we happened to sit down at one session to take notes by
Mm-hmm.
each other, start talking. Had
Mm-hmm.
I not been a volunteer, had I not said to my wife, you have to come, I would have never been a volunteer and I
Yeah.
would have just gone and we would have never met. You had to reach out and say you want to be a volunteer. It's amazing how all the pieces line up in our lives to
Yeah.
create the coincidences that could never be, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. And what's even crazier is that, like, as we were like doing the behind the scenes stuff and like helping them with the event and everything, it just gives you this sense of like, wow, there's so many good people in the world. You
Yeah.
know, there's so many good people in the world, and we all have a vision and we all have a mission. And collectively, getting all those people in the room, like when we were all standing there and they would open the doors and then let everyone in, but we got to be in there before they were in there, which was really cool. But watching all the people come in, like, you have a different feel around it. Like, you see all these like people that are creators, right? Talking about creators, right? And they use that verbiage, but true creators, and they all come flooding in, and you just get to like observe it as a volunteer, like from that perspective. It's just so cool. It's so cool.
Oh,
But then also, again, the way that we met and the way that we, like, the conversations that we had and stuff, it was definitely not coincidence, for sure. It was
oh.
amazing. And your wife's amazing, by the way. I love her to pieces. I'm so glad she came. I'm so glad.
Yeah, me too. I love
Yeah.
her. So I'd love for you to speak a little bit more about this idea of how this journey of your life led you to where you're at, because you've done some cool things. I mean, you've been in the e-commerce space, you've owned a VA business. Like there's been, I don't know, there's a country song that says, God bless the broken road that leads me to you. But I think that you is that thing where it's like, I'm supposed to be doing this thing in my life, and God keeps bouncing me along around almost like the pinball, right? And then all of a sudden you hit the jackpot and you're like, oh, it took all those hits to finally get where I'm supposed to be as an individual, right?
Mm-hmm. I love that you bring up that song because that was actually the song that my husband and I danced to on our wedding, like our first dance.
Oh, wow.
That was our song. So the fact that you brought it up is not a coincidence either. Yeah, no, it's so true. And I've often wondered that. I'm like, God, why did you take me like this way and every which way? Why couldn't it just been like, I mean, yeah, maybe a few detours, but why did it have to be like all the things? But then as I sat and really thought about it, it's because I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now had I not gone through all those things.
Yeah.
And because if you look at my business now, like if people look at it, they're like, wow, that's unique. Because they're like, well, that's a little eclectic, or that's a little like, that's a lot of things. You must be really busy. I'm like, actually, I'm not for what I'm doing. Like I am busy a little bit, but again, I'm shaping it a different way now. Like I'm shaping my business in a different way. So I have tons of white space. So I'm able to do, what I want, when I want, how I want. Um, and still be able to bless people in the way that is the best for me and my family and all the things. But I think as you if you looked at everything individually, all the things like all the pinballs and all the stops and craziness that you go through, and you looked at everything individually, you could say, oh well, that was a bummer, oh that was a problem or whatever. But when you look at it, like Steve Jobs said, you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them looking backward,
Yeah.
right? And so if I look backward, I'm like, oh, all of that makes sense because everything that I did, every single thing, I would say, yeah, almost every single thing that I did is helping me in my business now, like what I'm doing now. And it's also helped me to figure out what I don't want to do and what I don't want and how you know what I mean? And so it's shaped me into who I am, which we talked about earlier. It isn't necessarily the destination or whatever, it's who you're becoming on the journey, right? And I wouldn't be where I'm at now had I not had all of those experiences.
Right. But society puts such a big weight on the appearance of where you are
Yeah.
on that success scale. And I think social media does that to a big extent, and a lot of people fall prey to it. And that's
Mm-hmm.
one of the traps that actually holds people back from opening up the gates of creativity to actually develop who they can be and what they can accomplish.
Yes. Yes. That is so true. Mm, beautiful.
So I'm curious, totally different question. You love to travel. What's your favorite destination you've ever been to?
I'm so glad you asked this too. um, so I had the opportunity to go to Ireland last year, and it was phenomenal. And it's funny because I grew up a military brat, so we traveled quite a bit. So I've been to like lots of places, Germany, Italy, all the really cool places. I've never been to Hawaii though, which is hilarious. I don't know why, but I just never been there yet. So I'll get there eventually. But I was able to go to Ireland, and it was so awesome. And it wasn't even like the food's pretty good, but it's not like phenomenal or anything. But it was so magical. Like walking through the forests and seeing the castles and the ruins in just randomly sticking up in all these little villages and stuff like that, and meeting the people and knowing the history, and like so many people lost their lives because of their fight for freedom, just like the US, and I didn't realize that. And that, I mean, that right there, I mean, it would just brought tears to my eyes, like all the things that they've had to go through. And but then also seeing like the cliffs of Moher, and like, it's just epic. It's just so, the pictures do not do it justice. Like you just have to go. You just have to go. It's just so amazing. And I have ancestors from there as well. So we got to visit where my I think fifth great grandma lived and stuff like that. And so that was really cool. And I don't know, it was phenomenal. I loved it. It was, and I love their accents. Oh, just I could listen to them talk all day long.
So
Yeah.
Ireland is the place for you, huh?
Yes, yes. Oh my gosh. And I'm planning on going to Scotland here in the next year or two, I think, too,
Hmm.
because that's just, right over the way. But yeah.
Very
So it was
cool.
great.
Sounds like it. So what makes traveling magical for you?
I think it's, again, it kind of goes back to the journey of it. It's like it's the anticipation of what's happening. So it's like, oh, I get to go do something fun. But then it's also the journey of getting there, right? You have to get on, you have to pack your bag. So then you're thinking about all the things. Then you get on the airplane, or you get on the train or the bus or wherever, however you're doing, or driving, whatever.
Mhm.
And I like flying the most, but you get on the airplane, you go and you get to see it from a bird's eye view, like the world, and it's just
Mm.
so fun. I don't know, I just love that feeling. And then you come back down and you land in this different place, and you get to like discover all the new things and stuff. I love that process. And then you learn all the things, and then you're done with the trip, and it was so fun and so amazing. And then you get to come back from that and have learned whatever you learned there, and had the experiences you had there, and take them with you, like it's just, I don't know, there's something about that whole process that's really exciting and fun for me, even if it's not like foreign, even if it's like, oh, I'm going to go to New York City, or I'm going to go see Mount Rushmore, or I'm going to, whatever the thing is, or even going camping. Like I love exploring the forest, or the rock climbing, or the river rafting, or whatever, like I just love that process. And it reminds me kind of what we were talking about, that entrepreneurial journey too, just that feeling of accomplishment and joy and fun and adventure.
Definitely. I love it.
Yeah.
So how would people connect with you? Maybe they want to follow you on social media, maybe they want to do business with you. How do
Mhm.
people find you and connect with you that way?
So the easiest way to find out about all the things I do, because there's a lot of things, is you just want to go to my website. Make sure you put a www in front of it, otherwise it won't work and it's dumb. But whatever. So make sure it's www
Let's
dot
take care of that.
oh, we'll talk about that. Yes. Millionairemomentumlife.com. So millionairemomentumlife.com.
Perfect. And then any social that you're on?
So all the socials are on there as well. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn,
And your podcast. Tell
TikTok.
people about that too.
What'd you say?
Your podcast. Tell people about that too.
Oh, yes. Yes, I do have a podcast, which Jason was on my podcast. Super fun. So you'll have to watch his episode. But yeah, I talk to entrepreneurs, and I get to know the entrepreneur behind the business, which is really fun. And then of course you get to talk about your business and everything. And it's just, it's my happy place. I love to hear people's stories and where they come from and who they are and what makes them tick, and also seeing the vision of where they want to take their business and what they want to do with it and how they want to bless the world.
I love it. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for being a guest today. This has been awesome.
Yeah. Oh, it's been so fun. And oh, and if you do want to check out the podcast, it's really easy. It's Millionaire Momentum Podcast. So
There we go.
yeah,
Everybody go
it's
check
easy.
out her podcast and also
Yeah.
go check out the website with the wwws soon to be fixed.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much again for having me. It's been so awesome, Jason. And I look forward to lots of collaborations and lots of fun stuff going on. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. And to our listeners, thanks for tuning in.